Don't forget the doc. Several network participants recently called into Dr. Rick Wright's Old School Sundays radio show. Check this out.
Well, we have a superstar brother at Syracuse University in the Whitman School of Management, and he's got to get out of here. And this is the 4 o'clock funk hour. And I tell you what's really funky right now, Dr. Boyce Watkins, is the money in America, man. I mean,
yes.
It is funky right now, huh?
Yes. The funkometer is off. The funkometer for our money is off the charts right now. What's going on? Well, we had a bad system. We had a bad financial system, and when you have a bad system creates the wrong incentives, and when you create the wrong incentives, the wrong things happen even when people are not trying to do the wrong thing. They're just doing what's best for them, and the reality was that there should have been more government regulation. And a lot of people are feeling the heat. My students at Syracuse, for example, are all going on the job market, and many of them go to Wall Street, and the reality is that to some extent there really is no Wall Street, at least not the Wall Street that they thought they were going to be dealing with at the beginning of the year. So everybody's feeling the heat.
So what's the solution to the problem, Dr. Watkins, Boyce type, your style, man, if you were in charge?
Well, if I were Emperor of the United States for the day, that
well,
means
let me just say this. You're the Secretary of the Treasury. Come on. You just got appointed, man. How do we get out of this mess, man?
Well, number one, we need a bailout? Yes, we did need a bailout, but the way the bailout was structured was incredibly improper. It wasn't designed to sell to the American people, that's for sure, and the idea of buying all these securities to support the markets was not something that people were going to understand nor appreciate, nor was it the most effective way to solve this problem. If you could go back in time, say 5 or 10 years, you would have slowed down some of the deregulation that took place in the market that gave people incentives to make loans that people really couldn't afford to repay. Also, the American consumer is not completely innocent in all of this. If you look at American borrow, spending, saving, and investing habits over the past 20 years, they've gotten worse and worse every year to the point where they are atrociously bad. And so the way to survive in the game is to change the game. My grandmother told me everything I needed to know about money because my grandmother said if you are a saver, you will always have money. If you're a spender, you'll always be broke no matter how much money you make. So first thing we all want to do is learn how to save. And then if you are investing, if you have money in the 401k or whatever in the stock market, just leave it there. Be a long-term investor. Eventually the market does come back up. If you've never invested in the stock market, this is a good time to start because prices are low.
Prices are low.
Yeah, when you go shopping,
there's nowhere to go.
Man, when you go shopping for clothes, do you go shopping when the prices are high or do you go shopping when the prices are low? Shop. You hear what I'm saying?
I'm looking for the low.
Exactly. And so right now, the whole stock market is on a blue light special. If you go out in there and you put on you get a diversified portfolio, you don't try to pick any particular stock. People always ask me, what's a good stock to buy? And I say, that's the wrong question. You're going to get the wrong answer because you're asking the wrong question. The question is not which stock do I buy and when do I buy it. The issue should be how diversified should my portfolio be? And, you should be a long-term investor. You should not be a short-term investor. The market is not a casino. You're not here to make money tomorrow. You're here to make money over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So that's one other thing people can learn from this.
Well, Dr. Boyce Watkins, America, huh? Dead presidents, huh? Money, huh? Boy, yeah. I tell you what's really been a failure, though, man, is the 8 years of the Bush administration, man. I'm telling you, they had a surplus when they took over, right?
Well, this financial crisis was really the nail in the coffin of the John McCain campaign because Americans are learning that we can't afford an unqualified leader for our country. And if you look at the fact that President Bush himself was never a leader, he was never qualified to run a Burger King, let alone run the most powerful country in the world, then you have John McCain, who really is nothing more than President Bush Part 2. He also is a person who benefited from privilege his whole life and was never, he never possessed the merit to be a leader of much of anything. His life, he's done some good things in his life, but he's failed dramatically time and time again. If you look on the other side of the fence and look at the man that I've also been heavily critical of at times, but if you look at Barack Obama, this is a man who truly earned every inch that he got in this country, and he's the man that deserves to be our president.
Innovator, dynamic, and $100 million he raised in the month of September.
$150
$150 million.
Yes.
I'm impressed with the organizational skills. All you got to do is just sit back and look at the organizational skills that have been used in this campaign. If he's got those kind of organizational skills, and as a brother in America, he would be an incredible president.
Yes, and what's so amazing is that you see a lot of brothers who have their same ability, their same genius. You see those men, unfortunately, many of those men are in prison.
Oh, God,
Some of them
yes.
are drug dealers.
Oh, yes.
Many of them are great football and basketball players who can memorize a 200-page playbook that their coach gave them, but act like they can't do math. And my feeling is, you know what? As much effort as it takes you to make it to the NFL, if you took half of that effort and put that energy into becoming a neurosurgeon, you could be the biggest doctor in the world and make all the money that you ever could dream about, and it would take half the effort and wouldn't destroy your body in the process. So we should keep dreaming, we should keep hustling. We just got to dream and hustle in the right direction.
In the right direction. I knew two friends of mine with New York City and got rich.
Yeah,
They were brilliant too, man. Nicky Barnes and Frank Lucas. You know the movie American Gangster?
They were friends of yours,
Our
right?
brothers from North Carolina, man, knew them well.
Oh man, the people you run with, Dr.
Those
Rick.
guys were brilliant, man. I mean, that was
Yes,
young.
they
I
were.
knew them before they got rich and famous, in the illegal way of life.
You're absolutely
But
correct.
the one thing about it, those guys were PhDs in what they did.
Absolutely brilliant human beings. You are correct. I mean, the same type of brilliance and courage and charisma it takes to be a drug dealer on the level of Frank Lucas is the same energy it takes to be president of the United States. Yes, and unfortunately, because our country has locked certain people and continues to lock certain people out of opportunity, we are continuously throwing away and wasting many of our greatest geniuses in this country. Frank Lucas, you're right. Frank Lucas did some things in the drug game that no one had ever done. He created his own distribution channel directly from Vietnam and could sell the better profit at a lower price and made money hand over fist. Putting the value judgment aside, I mean, he made a lot of bad mistakes in his life. But as a businessman, he would get an A+ in my class.
Well, I'm talking about from a business perspective, but also in the African-American community, we have had some incredible leaders. I think of Maggie Walker this afternoon, great African-American sister who put together a great bank in Richmond, Virginia. I think about the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company in Durham, North Carolina, where you were a couple of days ago, which at one time was the largest African-American business in America. Wow. These are some of my teachers, man. Dr. W.T. Kennedy, who was president of the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, and Dr. Marvin Murray. They were all business professors at North Carolina Central University. So when I was doing my master's degree, which was in educational media and commerce, I took a course called Investments, man.
Sweet.
Under Dr. W.T. Kennedy, man, the president of the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. And, of course, he always told me that they got in the game because our folk couldn't get insurance, man. So we created our own empires. And, of course, another great bank in Durham, the Mechanics and Farmers Bank. All African-American-owned banks, man.
Well, that's something
incredible.
That's something
Money.
that's we lost that during integration.
Oh, we did.
We lost our drive to build black institutions, and my belief is that you got to own the land on which you stand.
Yes.
You can stand on the biggest platform and make the most money, but if you don't own something, then you have no power. Someone can come along and take everything you've got, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm gonna tell you what, your financial liberation is an important part of your social and spiritual liberation. If I know that I'm the reason that your kids get to eat every day, then you pretty much are enslaved and controlled by me. So if black people want to be liberated, we are not going to get liberated through a black president. We're not going to get liberated through through entertainment and all these other things we pursue in sports. We're going to get liberated through financial activism and the creation of economic equality in America. Our pursuit for black institution building and wealth building is what will help us succeed in a capitalist democracy.
I never forget